you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
All right, everybody, welcome to KUAM News Extra. I'm Jason Salas, and it is a great pleasure to introduce to you yet another filmmaker. This one's with a twist, because we've interviewed so many people over the years that are into the craft of telling stories for the large screen. I've never actually had the pleasure of interviewing anyone that works on sound design, so we have a native of Guam, Patrick Hogan.
Hey.
Very good to see you. Welcome home.
Thank you.
In a variety of ways, because you actually worked at old school KUAM back in Orta, too.
I did. I worked at KUAM back in the 80s. I was a weekend DJ while I was in high school.
So I guess as the millennials would say now, you know, media game strong.
Yes.
You've been in the business for a very long time.
I've been doing it a long time. I'm still learning social media a little bit. My daughter was just helping me with some new features of Instagram.
Okay.
So I'm still learning, but I've been doing it for a long time.
I was going to say you want to stay away from like the YouTube comments, because those ones are incredibly toxic.
Never read the comments.
Yeah, exactly.
Never read the comments.
Okay, but why you are here, among other things, is you're actually putting on a workshop based on your own filmmaking experience. And I got to read this, because your LinkedIn profile is impressive as all get out. Okay, you have worked in sound design, right? Mm-hmm. You worked on Cobra Kai, the YouTube series.
Doing it right now, yeah.
So you're already my favorite person in the world. Nip Tuck, of which I was a huge fan. Glee, Shrek the Third, of course, a feature movie. Gods and Generals, The Last Castle, the Robert Redford movie with Mark Ruffalo. That's one of my favorite films of all time. Among way other things, you've also worked on 6 Feet Under and Family Guy.
Yes, yes, and got golden reels for those. Those are the awards for sound editing.
Exactly. Okay, so
those were the ones I won awards for. So.
For people that don't know about that specific discipline, what is the job of sound editor sounds so self-explanatory, but your job is a critical part of the filmmaking process.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people, even my family, really has no idea what I do. So in film and TV, sound is basically broken down into music and everything else. Mm. So I'm in charge of the everything else when I do a show. In a feature film, there are lots of people who work on it. So all those things are broken down, and there's an individual person for each different facet of sound. In TV, where you work a lot faster and with lower budgets, one person usually handles more than one hat. But basically, my job when I'm a sound supervisor, most of the shows you mentioned are ones that I supervise. Mm-hmm. My job is to meet with the client. We spot the episode. We talk about anything special they want for that episode. I then go to the editors and tell them what they need to do, whatever special requests are for that episode. I review what they've done. And then I'm the one who sits on the mix stage behind the mixers. So the mixers are the guys who sit at the board, who move the faders. Everybody knows what those guys do because they're the ones moving the faders.
Some of our guys are doing that right now.
Yeah, they're moving faders right now. I sit behind them and make sure that they're doing what the client wants, because the client can't afford to spend 2 days on a stage while we're mixing because they have other episodes to get ready.
Right.
So I kind of oversee what the mixers are doing, make sure that what we talked about when we spotted the show is what we're doing on the stage. Mm-hmm. And then on the second day, they come in and they watch the show. And if they have any more additional notes, I make sure that stuff gets done.
Now, I would say based on your experience as a DJ, that gives you the ear, you know, for music, for intonation, for pace, for tempo. And
that's how I got into it. I had to work on someone I went to USC Film School, and they require that you...
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it was
so you went to Northwestern and you went to USC.
Yeah, so I went to Northwestern.
That 97 Rose Bowl must have been tearing you apart.
Yeah. That was when I just got there. I moved from Guam to go to SC Film School, and they make you crew on someone else's film. Everybody wants to be a Spielberg.
Of course.
When they get there, they all want to write direct, obviously, but they make you crew on someone else's film in a different capacity. And because I had experience in sound from working at KUAM back in the day. I decided that the best project that I saw available needed a sound editor. And I went, well, I know I do good at it, and I want to work on this project. It's one of the best projects. So I did the sound on it, and it won the Student Academy Award that year, which doesn't really, it wasn't so much for the sound. It won because it was a good film overall, but it helped me get going in my career.
Okay, now we tell people all the time, guests, not unlike how you're sitting here now, where they've never done TV before. They're brand new to YouTube, and we're like, when you come in here, you're never going to watch TV the same way again. As someone who works in sound and everything like that, when you go, in your leisure time to watch a movie, how do you take it in, and what are you looking for? What are you listening for? Probably?
Well, I always say that if it's a good movie, I take off my work hat and I just watch it as a, audience member. And that's any good film. Usually that happens, and on that first viewing, unless there's something really egregious. If it's a bad movie, I'll find myself
Nitpicking.
Nitpicking. The number one thing I'll do all the time. So there's something called ADR. What we call it used to be called a loop line. So a loop line is it wasn't recorded on the day. So you see the visual of wherever you see two people talking.
Like a voiceover, basically.
But they redid the voice afterwards. And it takes some skill to record it and mix it so it sounds like it took place in the actual environment. Okay. So all the time I'll be watching something, I'll be like, ooh, that was a loop line, because they didn't do a good job of matching it.
Okay, now Patrick, obviously you're a tome of knowledge. You're back here on island to pass that on to your fellow Guamanians. You're still a member of our family. So what is this workshop that you're putting on?
So Claudia Tidno, who's the president of the AAUW chapter here on Guam, who was my teacher in high school. We've stayed in touch all these years. When I talked to her about I was coming back out and that I would love to help, I don't get to come out here that often. I'd love to pass on whatever I could of my knowledge that I've gained in Hollywood. She said that she'd been wanting to have a workshop for not only the AAUW members, but anybody else who wants to attend, on the modern use of video in your branding, in your social media, in your if you have a company website, things that to help promote, especially women in their business pursuits. And video has now become a large part of that. Most good websites, most good social media platforms have some sort of video content in it. And I was like, okay, well that's something I can definitely lead a workshop on. I've been in Hollywood for 24 years now. So it's basically what I'm going to be doing is giving a workshop on all the things I've picked up in my time in LA and as a filmmaker myself, geared towards anybody who might want to expand. So it's designed to scale to wherever you're at. So the morning session will be more about your brand and how that relates to video and how video is used on the internet. And then the afternoon, we'll have lunch, and then the afternoon workshop will be more technical. And I'll actually show some examples of, okay, here's if you have no budget, here's an app you can put on your iPhone if you want to do a simple, self-vlog. If you
Steven Soderbergh's got a movie on Netflix right now.
Yeah, shot on iPhone.
Yeah.
It's a different world
shot
now.
on, I think, 7 iPhones, I believe.
Yeah, well, he had a little bit more. He had a budget for multiple iPhones.
Free Flying Bird, or?
I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
I've looked. And
did you watch Tangerine? I'm sorry.
No, I haven't.
The movie Tangerine. About it's about the transgender community in LA, and it's like a dark comedy. The entire thing was done on iPhones, and that was
I'll have to see it.
5 years ago. It's phenomenal.
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
I very much want to see that. Now I say they're not just filming with an iPhone, holding it with their hand, and they have. I always say, there's the phone, and then there's knowing how to use the phone to the best of its ability. And hopefully I'll be imparting some of that tomorrow. But yeah, I'll be talking about different levels of equipment in the afternoon, and the technical side of how do you make a nice video.
Okay, well, that being the case, we only have a few more minutes. I wish we could stay here forever because I'm so digging this conversation. But how can people register? Are there any seats left?
Yeah, so it's at the Hilton tomorrow, Saturday, 10 a.m. You can just show up and register there. It's $30 for AAUW members, $35 if you're not. It's only $5 more. It includes lunch. So I say, figure $30 for the lunch and $5 for me.
Outstanding.
For my whatever knowledge I can give you. It's at 10 a.m. tomorrow. You can also go to the AAUWGuamBranch.com website. I think that you can register there. It's tomorrow. And then I got to plug my film is playing Sunday.
Yes.
At the Guam International Film Festival at 3:30 in the afternoon at the Guam Museum. I'd love for everybody to come out and see the film. Okay,
real quick before we go, is there, speaking of social media, where can people find you, like on Instagram?
Okay, so Instagram, which is newer, so now I know what I was doing. It's P. Patrick Hogan, so at P. Patrick Hogan.
Okay.
My Twitter feed, which I've had for a lot longer years, I didn't quite know how it should work when I first, I was still learning. So it's at Soccer Nerd, but with a U instead of an E in nerd.
Aha.
So at Soccer, N-U-R-D.
Spoken like a true auteur. Well, Patrick, welcome home, man.
Hey, thank you so much. Half a day.
All right, you're always a member of our family and us here at KUAM, so we're very pleased to have you back.
Thank you very much.
I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Break a leg. Please stay tuned. We are back after this.
I'm Ruby Santos. I'm from the beautiful southern village of Umatic. One of the things that we take pride in is promoting Guam through our music, through our original compositions of songs. Here on Guam, what makes us different is our people. When we can extend that Hafaday spirit of being sincere, being genuine, being truthful, being honest,